Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Breakdown with Bonds. We are on episode 3 of the psychology of weight loss. And if you're someone that's been on a weight loss journey for years and you tried all of the programs, and no matter what you do, you always end up back at square one, this is the series for you. So make sure that you go back, you catch up on some of the previous episodes, and even dig in some of those shorts that I have on this channel because there's definitely something for you there if this is you. So let's recap. We've been talking about the psychology of weight loss and how your psychology and your physiology, they are inseparable. Your brain is your body is your body is a manifestation of your brain is attached to your spinal cord, which is your nervous system. Your nervous system has nerves that run all through your entire body. So think of your body as literally just like the meat suit that protects the brain, and the brain is the nervous system, right? I think that we do ourselves a crazy disservice when we try to separate the mental from the physical and when we try to separate the spiritual. You are a human being and you are made up of all of those things. And when you try to change a piece of you, it is all of you. And one of my biggest challenge as a trainer has been trying to help women reconcile this, that your weight loss journey, if it's taken years, it's because it's not about weight loss. There is an internal reboot that needs to occur, and that's why the quick stuff doesn't work. So let's jump right in, because a lot of people think that there's something physically wrong with their body, like their metabolism is this and this is that, and these things can be true. This is true. Some people do have metabolic disease. Some people do have hormonal imbalances. Some people have a lot of issues that are the reason why they can't lose weight in the traditional way that that most people do. But I'm going to tell you this as someone that's been in the weight loss industry for going on 8 years. The majority of people simply just don't understand how their body works. And guys, we're having, so apparently I don't know how to go live. I think, okay, we're still 4 minutes in. All right. Where we left off from, I believe I was talking about, before I accidentally ended my own live stream, I believe I was talking about how we just don't really have the tools. We don't know how to go about getting the things that we're looking for. And we also don't understand how the body works as one big system and one big unit. So my intention for today and for today's episode is to kind of walk you through the deeper levels, the things that maybe your everyday trainer at the gym may not know, and not because something's wrong with them, but because some of these things come with experience, and it comes with working with a diverse group of people and seeing that not everybody is falling into these like cookie cutter models of weight loss change, and some people will require more work. So the first thing that comes to mind when I think about the psychology of weight loss, your nervous system and your body are not failing you. They're simply doing what you have taught it to do. So I saw a video of one of my fellow trainer friends, and he was saying that his client was blaming her grandmother's trauma for the reason why she couldn't lose weight. And he wasn't knocking her, he wasn't making fun of her, but he was basically saying, guys, stop making excuses. Your grandmother's trauma is not your trauma. And as a trauma informed health coach, the first thing I thought is, oh man, I really hope you delete that video, and or that you only work with women who have had very healthy, stable, non-drama filled life, because no, your trauma does shape you. Your body does keep score. Even if you suppress it, it's going to come out and be manifested in all kinds of different ways. Some of us manifest our trauma through our eating habits. Some of us manifest our trauma through our exercise habits or lack thereof. Some of us are super controlling. Some of us are super lax. Like, those things have impacts on you. And time does not heal. Time just passes and you have more memories to keep up with. It's not that time healed, you just forgot. And what happens is your body keeps score. Your nervous system never forgets. Okay. Your body never forgets. And I want to dive in a little bit deeper about how your body never forgets. Okay. So your nervous system, right? I don't remember if this got into this take, because this is my third take this episode, but your nervous system's job is to keep you alive. Your nervous system and your unconscious mind, your brain, they're here to keep you alive. And that is why your nervous system has so many responses to things, like when you touch this, when something's hot, like it is meant to respond to stimulus so that you can respond with either fighting or flighting, right? Or, hey, we're safe. Okay, I'm going to rest so that we can digest and heal. So two different sides of the coin. You got your sympathetic nervous system, which I believe we talked about in last episode, fight or flight. And then we have parasympathetic nervous system, right? Sympathetic, think stress, fight or flight. Parasympathetic, I want you to think rest, digest, heal, and deal. Okay. Then you have your unconscious mind. This bad boy is responsible for 95% of your actions, your autonomous. I don't know words today. Autonomic nervous system. And it does things automatically for you so that you don't have to think about them. And these two things work together to keep score, if you will, and or remember certain things that you were afraid of, that harmed you and that gave you an unpleasant feeling, and it will protect you so that you never have to feel that unpleasant feeling again. So will Ozempic. You don't like hunger pains? Take Ozempic. Sorry. All right. So next up, I got my little list of ways that the nervous system keeps score. First off is sensory memory. So maybe you like touching heat as a little kid takes one time for you to remember, I got burned. We're not doing that shit again, right? Sensory memory, or maybe touching like someone, and this is where it gets deep, and this is how your trauma can have something to do with it. Not weight loss, but just life. If someone touched you inappropriately as a child, it did not feel good. So you may not want to be touched as an adult, or the opposite. Someone did touch you inappropriately as a child and it did feel good, and no one explained to you why it shouldn't. There's so many this is how the body keeps score and remembers. That's the sensory one. The second way would be the autonomic. We talked about this, where it puts things on autopilot for you. Breathing is autopilot. Blood being pumped out of your heart, autopilot. There are certain things that are just on autopilot within the body and in your behaviors, like getting up and brushing your teeth, or getting up and like there's just certain behaviors and parts of you that are on autopilot and repeat to save you time and keep you alive. Now, I want you to over dramatize the word keep you alive, because you're not really out to die every single day, but your brain has like, it's hot and cold. It's like either this is important to us and it's life or death, or it's not important to us and we may think about it, it may happen or it may not. But because it's not life or death, we don't care. And things that you do over and over and over again, it deems as important and it deems them as life or death. And so they get put into this like autopilot zone for you to make it easier for you. So you don't have to slow down and again have the discomfort of having to do something strenuous or uncomfortable. Let's put it on autopilot for you. This is how efficient and beautiful and awesome your body and your mind is. The third way that your brain, your that your nervous system keeps score is through neuroplasticity. Now, I know we all know this word, we hear it, but I really want you to understand and grasp the concept of neuroplasticity. I want you to think this is how your brain works, okay? So I want you to think of me telling you to go through a path in the forest, and the path is full of sticks. It hasn't been cleared out. It's like there is no path. I'm just telling you to walk through the forest. The first time you do it, it's going to be rough. You're going to get poked on. It's going to be uncomfortable, maybe wet, maybe cold, uneven. You may fall in a hole. Like it's the first time you did it. So it's going to be rough. But the second time, the third time, the fourth, fifth, 10th, all those times that you've done it, it'll get easier. You'll start to remember the path and you'll be able to go through faster. Your foot tracks will be there from last time, so you can just put your feet in them. You'll come prepared with stuff to cut the vines out the way. And if you do this over and over again, it will be like smooth. You will have created your own path. That's how your brain works. The first time you do a new something, it's going to be hard. It's going to be like, oh my God, so much tension, so much friction. But if you keep doing it over and over and over again, it becomes like muscle memory. Your brain deems this as something that is like, we got to do this. And you just get up and you just go to the gym and you just get up and you just make healthier choices for yourself. That is the end goal of health coaching. I want to help you create a new baseline and a new, like, this is just who I am. This is just what I do. I don't have to think about it. But that takes time. And most people don't want to take the time to undo the autopilot that their brain has been on for years. And that's why when they go to try to lose weight, it just doesn't work because you haven't gone in and created a new pathway. Now, on the other hand, I want you to think about a highway. When you get on the highway, traffic aside, getting from point A to point B is so easy because someone has gone before you and smoothed out the path. They even put little lines there so you know exactly where to go. They even tell you how fast to go, making this an easy transition. This is what it's like when you have a habit. This is what it's like when you've mastered a new habit. There's no more, oh, coach, how do I do this? Or this is awkward. Or do I get up earlier? Do I get up later? Do I do it? You already know. You get on, oh, there we go. Boom, boom. Take me to my destination. That's what neuroplasticity is. And when you work out, and especially when you do like challenging stuff like multitasking and core stuff and stability, it really helps increase your brain's neuroplasticity. You know what does not help increase your brain's neuroplasticity? Not learning new things. Neural pathways are like new thought processes and behaviors. And some of us just keep repeating the same old thing because I think the number is 99%. 95, who knows? But the majority of your actions every day are going to be almost 100%, 95, 99, whatever, a replica of the day before. Because unless we're intentional about undoing those neural pathways, undoing those habits, and changing the score that our body has kept from the things that we've experienced that have kept us at arm's length from the uncomfortable task of weight loss, we're never going to learn anything new. Oh my God, my dogs won't stop barking. All right, so let's dive in. How can you create new neural pathways? If you haven't been here before with me, I often use the examples of intensity or repetition. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, this is something I do want y'all to know real quick. Another way for you guys to think of neural pathways is think of it like this. Neural pathways are your patterns. Your patterns are your habits. Your habits become your identity, and your identity is what happens from these learned behaviors. Your identity comes from your behavior over and over again, and these are things that you learned, right? Whew, and your brain is going to continue to do these patterns, these habits, this behavior until you teach it, until it learns another way. And some of these things serve you. That's why you're still doing it. So let's jump into, and we're going to wrap it up here, the ways that you can rewire or the ways that you can rebuild new neuroplasticity. How to create a new autopilot or a new baseline is the best way to say this. So number one is intensity. You can't always create intense moments. Some of them are like hearing the news that if you don't lose weight, you won't die. Or if you don't do this, this going to happen. Those are very intense moments that will prompt someone to take their health seriously. Your foot's got to get amputated. Oh, all of a sudden now we understand how to eat for our diabetes. See what I'm saying? So those emotional things can be a great agent of change, but you don't always want to wait till something bad happens. So a good, intense, emotionally imprinting, changing moment for you that could create a new habit is a breakdown. You have an all-out mental, emotional breakdown, and it's enough for you to wake up and be like, I'm making the definitive decision that I don't want to do this no more. Maybe you have a breakthrough where it's like, oh my gosh, I finally, like the light bulb moment, like something finally clicks, or your heart finally aligns, or you finally lock in, right? We don't always know when that's going to happen, but those moments are the ones, the never again moment. For me, this isn't so much weight loss, but I remember while I was building my business and I got the chase notification from my phone that my business account was in negatives, and I just threw my phone. I was like, I'm so fucking tired of seeing this, and now it's in my business. I was like, I don't want this shit. I don't want to do this anymore. So I figured out a way to make money so that I didn't have to deal with that anymore. And does that mean that we've never had low bank accounts or negatives? No, but it means that is no longer like my baseline. Like that is not my normal. That is what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So the first way would be intensity. The second way is repetition. This is the discipline that people want. This is the just getting the reps in. But I need you to know that repetition does not require perfection. So consistency of exposure to the gym, consistency of exposure to you paying attention to your food. All you need is consistency with these habits, because once they become familiarity becomes safety. And what is safe for you will eventually become your new autopilot. Number 3, small steps, gradual change. This is the way that I do the majority of my coaching. When I get a new client, they usually are like, give me everything. Tell me what to eat. Tell me what to do. Da, 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 da. And in my experience, when I have given somebody all of those things that they've asked for up front, one or two things happens. They either fake it like they're hitting all of it, and we eventually have a breakdown later on, months down the line, where they're like, well, I don't know why I'm not getting results. And then I look and I'm like, are you really doing this stuff? And well, no, well, I had tried this instead. Well, I didn't. And it's like, girl. She's like, well, this is too much. And I'm like, I know it's too much because I tried to give you one thing at a time, but you said you was going to go balls to the wall. Now we've learned that don't work. But the other thing that will happen is people just completely shut down. More often than not, people that think they're ready to just bite the bull by the balls, or whatever that phrase is, they bite off more than they can chew and they shut down. And I can relate to this because as a bipolar, manic, depressive, ADHD person, like when I get overstimulated or when I know I have too much to do and I just don't believe that I can actually see it through, then I'm like, well, fuck it. Fuck it. We ain't doing this shit. So that's that in the Lord, lost my whole damn train of thought. But giving people slow and steady steps, slow and steady finishes the race, not just wins, but finishes. Taking little nuggets out and doing small steps. Did we ever talk about discipline? I mean, small steps is the same as repetition. But yeah, if you give people too much too quickly, it can trigger your defense mechanism. And you'd be like, whoa, I'm in danger. And we talked about the nervous system. It's here to keep you alive. So you want to make sure that you're not throwing on too much too fast, because your ego or your self-esteem, your self-identity is very much in love with who you are now. Whether it's good or bad, she is very wrapped up in who she is now. And so with that said, hold on. She's very wrapped up in who she is now. And so because anything that seems like it's going to be taking her away from that seems like an attack on you personally, she's going to fight back. She's not going to be happy, and she's not going to work for you. This is probably what happens. This is why some people are like, no, don't take away my good foods. No, don't, because they identify those foods as their ego. They identify those foods as a part of, again, where's my list at? I lost my list. Patterns, behaviors, identity, mindset, like these things. This is a part of who they see themselves as. And until you can start to see yourself as someone that does not rely on those things, until you start to see yourself as someone that is in a different place than the person that you are trying to, improve, you have to believe that there can be change. Because if not, then you're just going to stay where you will always see yourself here. If I haven't said this enough in this series, I'll say it again. You cannot consistently perform in a way that is inconsistent with how you view yourself. And if your self-perception, self-esteem, ego is still tied to a woman that has no discipline, a woman that can't control her hunger cravings, a woman that doesn't know how to emotionally regulate unless it's with eating, if that is all that you can see yourself as, then you are going to have one hell of a time making those changes that you need. So going back to one of the ways that you can change your neuroplasticity is the small changes. Because when you go too hard, too fast, the nervous system is going to panic. Too much change makes you feel unsafe. One of the key phrases that I have for Mind Embody Fitness is that women need to feel safe, seen, and supported. Because when we feel safe, we let our guard down and we can get to the root issue of whatever's holding us back. When we feel safe, we can go all out in our workouts, or we can actually show up for ourselves without the fear that it's not going to work, or without the fear of embarrassment. Safety is key when it comes to nurturing new habits, because we all feel unsafe or embarrassed or awkward when we're learning something new. That's why it's so important to feel safe in the environments that you're growing in. So micro habits, doing little things at a time, is going to kind of bypass your brain's resistance system. What does that mean? Instead of on your first day of your workouts being like, well, I'm going to go work out for an hour, 5 days a week. No, the fuck you're not. How about you go to the gym once and give yourself 15 minutes on the treadmill? And if you do those 15 minutes, woohoo! Go for 20 or go lift some weights. But don't try to commit to something that is way more than you've ever done without even testing the waters of what a little bit of it feels like. Because what happens is your pride gets hurt, especially if you've announced to the world that you're going to do this big thing. And I'm speaking to myself right now because I've been announcing I'm going to open a gym since the beginning of this year. And it's not that I bit off more than I can chew. It's that I was reaching. This has to be done in phases. Oh my gosh, this is so appropriate. I can't just go from working from someone else's gym to opening a crunch size fitness franchise. That's not how that works. It made me shut down this summer though, because my brain was like, well, we got to go from 0 to 100. I did what a lot of women do on their fitness journey. I was like, well, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. And I need to get here tomorrow. Don't do that. Please don't do that to yourself. Instead, the reason why I'm able to break these steps down is because it's been a part of my personal journey. And so I'm going to go back and kind of make this parallel to the gym story. An intense moment would be a breakthrough or a breakdown. I had a breakthrough and breakdown. I don't need to start big. I can start small, and building by community is how I want to get there. Whatever. Repetition, doing the small things that a future gym owner does. It's not fitting perfectly, but just stay with me. And then the small steps, rather than trying to jump from where I'm at now to getting crazy people to invest in my business so I can just pop off the bottom. That's crazy. If I haven't run a small gym, how can I try to manage a big gym? Take these small steps. It's going to bypass the resistance. Me taking a smaller step by getting a smaller gym studio to start helped ease the stress of, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? What if I get in debt? And I feel like we all do that. We bite off more. We see where we want to go. We feel like we got to get there tomorrow. And then we stress ourselves out trying to get there, even though we're not equipped to get there. And then we just burn out. Don't do that. Slow shifts will help your body feel safe. Little by little, you'll create a new normal. Another way that you can ease your nervous system, let that body that's keeping score know that, hey, we can stop keeping score on those stuff. I've healed, I've moved on, is to make peace with those old fears. Your brain is here to protect you. Your nervous system is here to protect you. It has made you uncomfortable with fitness. It has made you doubt yourself in fitness. It has done all of these things because it was trying to protect you from something. Whether you got humiliated in gym class, whether you got made fun of because blah, 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 whether you gained weight to protect yourself from being sexually assaulted. If you truly want to release the fear and the emotional trauma that is attached to your weight, you have to let yourself know, hey, we are safe now. It is safe for me to release this weight. We are not going to be attacked now. In fact, we're going to be so strong that we'll be able to defend ourselves if somebody ever does that again. And that is the work, that is healing, that is the deep work that when I tell people this is what's holding you back, they're like, no, 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 I just need to work out harder. No, 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 just give me a better diet. And I'm like, no, 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 your brain is running the show, not your body. As long as your brain is not on board with this change, we will remain the same. So make peace with your old fears. This is what I had to do with my inner child when I'm doing something in my business, because math is not my thing. And more often than not, when it comes to taking the next step, it comes from an old fear about math and me not being good with the numbers, or my own insecurities, like, oh, I'm not organized enough, so this isn't going to work. So think about your old fears that may be coming up to play when you try to make your fitness journey work. Maybe you've tried and failed things before and you don't want to do this again. Maybe you've disappointed yourself or others before and you don't want to do it again. Whatever this fear is, make peace with it, right? Because you can't outrun an outdated alarm system. That fear that you have when it's time to go in the gym, that fear that you have when it's time to commit to yourself or hire a trainer, it is an outdated alarm system from your nervous system. You have to update it. You got to go back in and change what it gets alerted to. Otherwise, it's going to keep going off every time you go in those spaces. So ask yourself, is this fear still relevant, or is it just familiar? Is this still relevant? Does this still serve me? Do I still need to be protected from this thing that I once feared? These are serious questions that I need you to ask yourself so that you can fully work through and process this. When the fear dissolves, when that fear disappears. When that disappears, your autopilot will also be able, like, it won't be there anymore. You'll be able to put a new autopilot or a new coding and system in there. All right, where we at? We're on number 5. Building new habits that do serve you. So the old things that you did before served an old you. They protected you. They met some of your needs. That's what this whole series is about. You can go back to episode 1 where we talk about the 4 main human needs and identifying how they may be showing up, and how identify the role they're playing and how you may or may not be showing up for yourself. So we have habits that serve us. Oh, I was afraid of this, so I used to do this. I used to not look in the mirror when I would get ready for anything, because I didn't like looking at myself. I didn't want to look at the imperfections. I didn't want to see them up close. It didn't serve me, but it did help me avoid the things that I didn't like. Because if I were to see the things that I didn't like about myself every single day, it might have slowed me down even more. It might have made me more depressed. And so at that time in my life, my body, my brain's way of protecting myself from one more stress was to just simply not look at it, just avoid it. Even though it's going to hurt you down the line to not see that your makeup always looks a hot mess, or it's not blended and that's why people look at you funny or whatever. Like, I couldn't. I know it sounds stupid, but I used to hate looking in the mirror. That's not who I am anymore now. I get on lives and I talk on stages and go on like, I got to look at myself in the mirror because that's who I am now. I am someone that is comfortable in their skin and confident in it. So my habits have to reflect that. That means I actually have to check my teeth to see if I have lipstick on it, because I was that person that would have that, or check my makeup to make sure my eyeliner hasn't bled down my face. And old me used to just say, oh, I don't care about how I look. And that served who I was before. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. Yes, yes, we do. The new us does care. So think about things that you used to not do because you hid behind, oh, I don't care. That's not important to me. And what kind of habits can you build for you now? Your current self has different capacities, different needs, and she's a different purpose. Am I doing, are my daily actions preparing me for the woman that I'm becoming? Do my actions align with the woman that I want to be? This is my goal. What will it take for me to get there? Are my actions in alignment with who I want to be? That's number 5. And then number 6, don't, dude, there's like 8 more of these. We're going to fly through these. I'm so sorry. Number 6, build habit, or no, thank the old you. Those alarms and those protections that we went over, they're there for a reason. Thank her for those protections. Let them know that you survived, and release them. Number 7, 7 and 8 go hand in hand. Inner child work and shadow work. Your autopilot was generally built when you were little. If that little girl felt unsafe, unseen, or unsupported, she's the one steering the ship now. Reparenting is a integral piece of healing holistically. Shadow work. This is the parts of you that you've rejected, and this is a part of you that runs certain behaviors that you're not aware of. Shadow work helps you integrate these hidden motivations, wounds, beliefs running underneath your habits. You can't change what you refuse to look at. Shadow work is literally like how I avoided looking in the mirror. That was literally like the personification of me needing to look in the mirror and face not only my shadow, but like who I really am. Somatic processing. This looks like breath work, nervous system regulation, grounding, shaking, and body movement and practices. And if you're interested in any of these, I have women that I can direct you to, or you can obviously look on YouTube. But I have two women that I love, Trush, Desiree, and Mercedes. I can send you their information. And then last but not least, community, or nah, do I want to blend these together? We'll blend them together. Community. Surround yourself with people that want to do these things with you, that can encourage you, that can support you, where growth is normal, challenging yourself is normal, celebrating wins is normal. If you can create a community where the triggers aren't there to reduce friction, at least in the beginning, this is also going to be helpful as well. So this has been much longer than I wanted it to be, but I love this. This is probably my favorite episode so far in the series. Let me know if any of this resonated with you, or if there's any topics that I didn't touch on, or ones that you want me to touch on deeper. And I'll be back tomorrow to finish up this series for you guys. And I'll probably be on in the morning to do a coach chat after my client session, just to let you know some funny stuff that they say, because they crack me up. So once again, this is Coach Bonds with the Breakdown with Bonds. Thank you for being here, and we will see you guys next time.